I honestly don't even know what to say here. I thought about stopping it, but I set up the terrarium to be hands-off or minimal requirement, and I want to see what nature can do. But I did not see this. This is amazing. Horrific, scary. I don't even want to watch it while I'm filming it. But nature, it's gonna find a way. So I don't know what the spider type or genus or anything is. It's a little tiny black spider. I apologize for my lighting, but the worm there is a giant mealworm, and basically I set up this terrarium just as a little hobby to keep me busy and something to look at. It's for me, it's not for much of anything. I'll share parts and pieces here and there. I just like to watch nature. So I put in the mealworms, and I put in I think 35 of them, and they reproduce super quick. I'm just waiting for them for a month or two to turn into beetles. I think it'd be fun to watch. Excuse me. But so this is one of the mealworms, and looking at the size disparity between the mealworm and this little tiny black spider. So the black spider just moved in on its own while I was doing a setup, or it came in with one of the plants or with some of the moss that I put in, because most of my terrarium is made from foraged plants, I guess, and pieces and items. Maybe I'll make a video showing the rest of the terrarium. But this one here, and I don't mind if anybody muted me by now. I would have muted myself as well. I just didn't know if a completely silent video would be worth anything, you know, to anyone to keep them interested. But the video itself, I would not have ever suspected that this little tiny little black spider would be taking down a giant mealworm. And no, I'm not actually watching a lot of it. I'm more of a peaceful person. I don't like actually watching carnage, but I do enjoy nature. I know it's a bit of an oxymoron, but there's limits. If it gets gruesome, I'm probably going to stop videotaping. But I'm figuring maybe someone will take a look at the video and know what kind of little tiny black spider this is, or maybe someone will watch this and say, I've never seen that before. That'd be kind of cool. I would do some kind of like cool narration, or, you know, he's fighting back, or some kind of boxing show or something, but yeah, I don't have that skill set. I would just make it really bad, so we're going to avoid that. You can also see the little tiny white creatures walking up and down the glass and other areas in the terrarium. Those are my springtails. I've got a mix of little tiny ones, and then bigger ones, and then pink ones. And springtails, they just like a cleanup crew. They eat basically anything that's rotting or decomposing. And typically, for some unknown reason, the isopods that I have in here, they don't like this back corner. And I'm starting to think I understand why now. They just don't come back here. I thought before it was just because there's no moss or food for them to eat, but there you can see there is actually plants and stuff here. So maybe they're just smarter than I am and they knew to stay away from this little intruder that I had. The spider came in during the build setup in the grass, whatever, I don't know. And again, I like watching nature, so hey, if the animals came with the plants and stuff, let's see what happens. Yeah. See, I don't even know if that spider has the ability to take this mealworm down or not, because, I mean, the mealworm, it'll probably just expire from being trapped in the web to begin with, but is it immune to the possible toxins of the spider? I don't know. See if I can get a... That is absolutely crazy. And believe it or not, I actually have a UV light on just above where this is happening. It's just not a very strong UV light because it's just moss back there, and a couple random plants that I threw in that were in the moss already. We'll see what they become if they survive the transition into the terrarium. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway. It is absolutely amazing how hard it is for me right now not to reach in there and save this mealworm from that spider. But knowing what's in this tank, that might be the only meal this spider gets its entire life. I'm surprised the number of times it appears that the spider has bitten this mealworm, that there hasn't been some kind of toxin that would shut the mealworm down by now. I'm also really interested to see how big this cocoon looking whatever it's called, I don't know, I'm not a insectologist, okay? But I know cocoon. Well, I guess it is a cocoon. But anyway, the spiders wrap these things up after they die and they save them for meals later. How big this thing's going to be when it's wrapped up. Another curiosity question we've never really thought of. Does the spider have the ability to cut their own web lines to release an animal that's stuck in their web that's too big for them? And I would put some kind of music or some kind of drama or something on the background, but I swear, it doesn't matter if you play your own music that you played, but was somebody else's score. You're copyright infringement, or you're demonetized, or this video doesn't qualify. I get it, it's cool. I really don't care. I've never made a penny off any of my videos. It's just frustrating to always see that little tag saying, this video is copyright or whatever. You know the deal with all that. Happens more on Facebook to me than anything else. And yeah, you see that little alien standing there? Well, he actually was standing. Now he's laying down thanks to that mealworm. But there's a couple of them throughout the terrarium. And the cool thing is they glow under the black light. So when it's nighttime and I'm ready for bed, I turn on the black light. I can stare at the terrarium for a while, and these little guys glow, which allow me to see any bugs or thing that walks by them or near them. So it's just a cool little thing for me. Terrarium is not your standard build. It's a little sci-fi, a little WTF, a little bit, oh, I get it, a couple herbs, some basil and oregano and some spinach growing in there. I've got a carrot growing in there. I've got some dill growing in there. I've got wheatgrass, I've got catgrass, I've got cactuses, I've got living stones in here. Yeah, it wasn't meant to look like anything. It was just meant to be its own thing. Been a cool little project for me, though. I've spent a year or two on it. Someday when I can figure out how to get all the lighting right for videotaping, I'll put a video up or something like that on it. But it looks as if we are ending the moments of excitement. There I go talking. Well, I thought we were over there for a while, and I was just going to say we'll cut this off and I'll give you guys an update, but apparently that was just intermission. I don't know. How strong are those spider webs, right? Crazy. Don't look at me like that, man. I didn't do nothing to you. You shouldn't have even been over there. There's no food for you there. Your food's on the other side of the tank, so I don't want to hear that. Yes, I'm talking to a mealworm, probably out of a little bit of guilt that I know I'm technically letting him die, but the truth is, I really don't want to disturb the cycle of nature in this because I want to see if it works. And as it progresses, it's going to be hands-off, which means no feeding, which means anything that's in there is going to have to survive by Mother Nature's laws and not mine. Yeah, all life is valuable. I truly believe that, and I do mean all life, even these little guys. But I also believe that there's more to it than just that. Alright, well, you know what? We kind of see what's happening here. Spider goes down, injects a little bit of toxin or poison possibly. Not really that effective to the mealworm. Mealworm is trapped in the spider's webs from being spinning around, because that's what a mealworm is going to do. If it gets stuck or something stuck on it, it spins, and then that's going to twine more of the web around it. So we know that the mealworm is stuck. It ain't going nowhere. It's going to die one way or another, and when it does, the spider's going to have dinner for a long time. Whereas I don't know what the spider is going to eat after that, because I don't know. We'll find out. That's the whole point of this, right? Well, for anyone who is interested, thank you. Let me know. I'll make some more videos. If it was boring or you didn't enjoy it, that's cool. Don't leave a thumbs up. This way I'll know. And if there's enough thumbs up, I'll show you some more of the terrarium and maybe some more of these live action nature in real time videos. Thanks again, and y'all have a great one.